All right, so the Celtics and the Sixers is facing off against each other in the first round of the playoffs. So right here, I'm just going to give a brief analysis of what I think is going to be the outcome of the series. So in general, to win NBA championships, you need superior talent, which is the main reason why I hate the NBA, but that's another story. You need superior talent, okay? The Sixers have that in Embiid and Simmons. Obviously, Simmons is hurt, so he won't be playing, but they still have that in Embiid. The Celtics don't have that. Kemba Walker is a really good player. Jason Tatum is ascending to a star, but he's not there yet, right? But the Celtics have a lot of other attributes that will get them by, and it has been getting them by for years. All right, two main things in general. Brad Stevens is a monster. It's no way around it. He is a monster of a coach. I've never seen a coach find as many. First of all, he runs beautiful sets. Like right here, he runs beautiful sets. A lot of things I've never seen before. A lot of things that's simple. But he finds mismatches like I've never quite seen a coach find in my life. Which is very important in the NBA and very important in basketball in general. Most of the time, you're not going to run sets that's just get you layups or wide open shots. It's just too hard to do that on a consistent basis, you know. So he finds mismatches galore, and he's the best at it. He's always 2 steps ahead of you. And the other component about the Boston Celtics is their versatility. It's by far no team in the NBA that's as versatile as them. And I'm assuming you got to give Danny Ainge in the front office credit because they know they don't have a superstar yet. So they got as versatile as they can, and it was great player development in this organization. You know, and guys like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Gordon Hayward, Marcus Smart, a lot of versatile guys that could do multiple things. You know, when you got that with a mind like Brad Stevens, it's a recipe for success. You know, so those attributes is what's gotten them this far. You know, and they defend the basketball. With saying that, they still shouldn't beat the Sixers. Why? Because the Sixers are by far the biggest team in the NBA. You know, you add on that you have a dominant, potentially dominant player in Joel Embiid. The Celtics should not be able to beat the Sixers, right? But the problem lies in, again, the number one thing is coaching. Brad Stevens coaches rings around Brett Brown. It is what it is. All right, Brett Brown wants to run this pace and space system that he got from Greg Popovich, which is beautiful to look at, but you don't have the San Antonio Spurs type of dynamics. You don't have that with the Sixers. You got a lot of big guys that can bully everybody in the NBA to the basket, all right, and you refuse to use that to your strengths. Okay, looking at Ben Simmons right here, push this basketball, not even this one, they pushed it for a 3. That's not what this team is made of, right? That's not what this team is made of. This team is made of big guys that you need to be bullies with, period. It's not made of jump shooting type of guys. Al Horford, with these pick and pops, man, I just want to shoot myself in the head with him and Joel Embiid doing it. They're too big for that. You know, it's mismatches everywhere, but the Sixers refuse to attack it. You know, seeing Ben Simmons in this game attack this basket, no one in the world can stop Ben Simmons from getting to the basket. I know I'm going off pace because he's not playing this year, but they can do that all the time. Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, Joel Embiid. They can get wherever they want on the court. And what that does in turn is, you just saw they had a backdoor cutoff of it, 2 of them in a row. It puts more pressure on the defense. You know, they start sending double teams. That leads to 3-on-2, 2-on-1 on the backside, right? That leads to extra rebounds, like you just seen with Ben Simmons. That leads to slowing the pace of the opposite team when they're on offense, which a lot of people don't talk about, right? You can slow the pace with the type of offense you run, but if you want to just sit here and shoot with the other team when you're not good at doing it. It just doesn't make logical sense. So in closing, I know I went off on a rant, but Sixers is so frustrating to watch, man. The Sixers, they'll lose to Boston. They'll lose to Boston. They shouldn't, but it should be an easy victory in the series, 4-1, 4-2, something like that. But they'll lose. They'll lose, and people might say, why should it be 4-1, 4-2? Because the Sixers have a dominant force that the Celtics have no answer for. All right, but Brett Brown refuses to adapt to his talent. All right, the Sixers' problem is simple. Okay, for years they should have won an NBA championship. For the last 3 years at least, they should have won an NBA championship. But the problem is Brett Brown. Again, he won't adapt to his talent, for one, and for two, he's too nice to Embiid and Ben Simmons. All right, he allowed these kids to do whatever they want to do. And as a result of it, they do what they want, you know, because they've been doing what they want their whole life. You know, when you're that superior, when you have that type of talent level, a lot of coaches let you get by with things, and unfortunately it's happening in the NBA with them, right? You know, so me personally, I think Brett Brown is a better college coach where he could have younger kids, because I think that he's way over his head with this. But the Sixers are wasting an immense amount of talent that they have, and they'll lose to Boston. They'll lose to Boston because Brad Stevens is a monster. All right, he is a monster, and Boston is a well orchestrated team. All right, so they'll go to the finals, and they'll play the Clippers and lose because the Clippers is just on another level and they have a superstar. But kudos to Boston for how they put their team together. But the Sixers are going to lose, and they shouldn't lose. And the Sixers should go to the finals because they have a dominant force, and they are by far the biggest team in the league. But Brett Brown refuses to adapt to that talent. All right, everybody wants to be a shooting team now, and that's another problem. Everybody wants to be a jump shooting team where you don't have jump shooters. Okay, the reason Golden State won the championship with jump shooters because they had the two best jump shooters in the world ever, and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. That's why they won. All right, that's not normal. Okay, everybody's trying to mimic them where you don't have superior shooting. I love Damian Lillard. I love C.J. McCollum. They ain't Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. It is what it is. And the reason I'm saying that is because you're going to miss shots. All right, you're going to make a lot in games, but it's going to come a time where you miss. It's going to come a time where Houston Rockets miss all the time. You know, it's going to come a time in the playoffs when you miss. How are you going to equate that? You need easy baskets, right? And Brett Brown refuses to give the Sixers opportunities to explore those avenues and get easy baskets. And most importantly, he refuses to hold Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons accountable, which is why the Sixers will lose, and which is why most likely, unless Brett Brown gets fired, we'll never see how good the Sixers can be. That's it. So subscribe, like the video, comment below if you disagree with me. I love hearing y'all foolish comments. Very foolish. Talk to you soon.